Dear students, in the previous lecture we discussed the positioning of humanities and social sciences in institutes of technology. Particularly we are looking at why HSS disciplines are there in IITs or NITs or any engineering college in the first place. To understand that, we looked at what is the situation in American universities. We found that right from its inception, top American universities such as Purdue University, Stanford, MIT, they have always emphasized upon equal importance being given to natural sciences, engineering sciences, humanities and social sciences, and architecture and planning. For instance, I gave you the model at MIT where there is emphasis on 4 general areas of education. We also looked at the fact that why top American universities there was growing demand for courses from humanities and social sciences. One of the reasons can be attributed to the American intervention in Vietnam, which is all known in the history of 20th century as the Vietnam War. The scientists or the academicians initially felt that whatever that is happening outside the campus, outside the institute, it does not concern them because they are focused on core research. They should not bother about the economic or political or social upheaval that are happening outside the campuses, academic campuses. But there was a rising discontent against such approach which essentially sprang from within the academics. They felt that the academicians must respond, particularly the professors, the faculty members from sciences and engineering, they must respond to race discrimination. They must respond to exploitation of the blacks. They must respond to gender inequality. They must respond to problems inherent in building big dams. They must respond to the human, environmental, economic cost of dam building. They must look at the different issues that can arise due to human cloning or creating genetically modified crops, or they must respond to the environmental or climate change and how it is going to affect human beings. Hence, courses were designed in American universities where equal element or elements or dimensions from social sciences and humanities were also incorporated in engineering curriculum. In IIT, for instance, IIT came into being after the Sarkar Committee in 1946 strongly recommended that there is a need for technology institutes, and such technology institute must have social sciences and humanities in its campuses. There must be a need to integrate humanities and social sciences with the engineering sciences and natural sciences. But Ravinder Kaur says that though the social sciences and humanities have proved its importance in technology institutes right from its inception, but still one can sense that 2 models are at work. One is the service model, one is the core model. In the service model, as we discussed, a subject is taught because of its perceived usefulness. If it can serve a certain purpose to the engineering students, then that subject would be easily approved in the Senate of that IIT. Initially, it was felt that English language communication, English language learning is crucial to engineering students, particularly to the IITians, so that they can compete in the global market. Hence, courses on technical communication and language labs came into being. There was a market demand for management from 90s onwards in India. Hence, management departments were created in the IITs to cater to such demand, because they felt that management, the key to handling human resources lies in management discipline, and the students who have a deadly combination of an engineering degree from IIT and a management degree from IIM, they always land in lucrative jobs. So it became an ambition of every engineer to get a degree from a top engineering institute like IIT and get a degree from a top management institute like IIM. It all because of the market demand. If the IITs do not have management discipline, then the social sciences and humanities were told to teach these courses having management component. Hence came industrial sociology or organizational behavior or group dynamics or managerial economics or professional ethics from philosophy discipline. But such a service model takes away the very essence of social sciences discipline. The very fact that it gets split into usefulness and non-usefulness, it stops being the source of critical questioning that is so crucial to the very existence of social sciences and humanities. Now I shall discuss the core model and its features. Now, the core model of humanities and social sciences, it does not try to prove its usefulness to technology institutes or engineering institutes. It avoids demonstrating its usefulness. In core model, it treats education as an integrated affair. So one can always make a distinction in the classical sense between imparting education and imparting training. That if we are training the engineers, then it is so that they get the sufficient skills that will allow them to get into jobs later on. But if we are educating them about societal context, about if you are providing them cultural training, if you are sensitizing them about issues which are non-quantifiable, ambiguous or controversial, if you are allowing them to understand the breadth of human experience and culture, the past and present, then we are providing education. So in a classical sense, we can make that differentiation, a distinction between imparting education and imparting training. So when we apply the core model, we essentially impart education. We are not imparting training. This is how one can argue that the difference lies between core model and the service model. So the core model is not driven by market, it's not need driven. Core model finds a place. In the core model, the subjects find a place based on their own merit, which is essentially a reflection of human conditions, society, culture. So subjects do not have to prove its usefulness or perceived need. In core model, for instance, one can always develop critical inquiry, rational judgments, decisions, developing decision criteria when dealing with a range of issues. The core model allows students to understand the society as a whole, not only society but also to understand their own individuality, their own personality, their own personal dispositions. Hence, it is said that HSS disciplines allow the students to hold a mirror to society and to oneself. Through social sciences and humanities, through the mirror of social sciences and humanities, we look at the society and we look at ourselves. We look at the different social, political, cultural aspects of our life, legal aspects of our life, religious aspects of our life, how religion positively or negatively influences people, how economic decisions can affect human lives. It looks at how political ideology can be detrimental or can be constructive. It looks at the different laws, the framing of different laws having a repercussion on law and order, security, and on general well-being of people. Through social sciences and humanities, we also get to know ourselves. For instance, subjects like psychology and sociology make the student understand individuality, identity, personality, and through that they get to understand perception, memory, leadership ability. All these things help the students to know and explore and understand themselves better. Hence, when we say that social sciences and humanities hold a mirror to society and to themselves, it is justified. Now, in a core model, the humanities and social sciences have full-fledged PhD programs, which are on par with engineering and science, natural sciences disciplines. It also produces research of international standards. Hence, they are comparable. In those humanities and social sciences, there is a strong PhD program where the quality of PhD students, the quality of faculty members is top class. The quality of research output is of international standards. And because the very fact that there are PhD programs, it allows the humanities and social sciences to undertake research rather than just teaching BTech undergraduate students technical communication or industrial sociology or organizational behavior. So that helps in exploring and providing incremental knowledge to the knowledge base of humanities and social sciences through such research programs as PhDs. So, in the structuring of departments, IITs have always followed two models. One with a combination of core courses and electives, and other one with only electives. So, faculty members in humanities and social sciences who are based in technical institutes or engineering institutes or IITs or NITs, they have a lot of freedom to choose certain subjects to teach. They have a freedom to teach the way they want. They have freedom to formulate the course, to design the course according to the needs of the teacher as well as the students. And the system of internal evaluation also gives them that freedom to innovate and upgrade what they have been teaching. So, the IIT model, it allows the research scholars as well as the faculty members of humanities and social sciences to innovate and upgrade what they do in terms of their courses, in terms of their teaching, in terms of the internal evaluation, in terms of the research that they undertake. So, interdisciplinary nature of these departments also considered as a further source of strength and fecundity. Now, if you look at the question of status of humanities and social sciences vis-a-vis science and engineering, the question that comes to your mind is, has the spirit of the core model been sustained? If not, what are the reasons for decline or marginalization of HSS department in these elite institutions? Because the very fact that the IITs have adopted the core model of humanities and social sciences is a testament to the fact that it is short-sighted of any institute to think that knowledge is divisible into useful or useless. So, such approach is fraught with risk. Now, if one looks at the history of different disciplines from medieval period onwards, one would find that there has always been certain questioning of certain courses such as arts, craft, painting, sculpture, particularly in Department of Armament Studies in the earlier times. But engineering subjects, initially one would be surprised to find that was considered as arts. Engineering subjects were considered as arts subject because of its proximity to craft tradition. So initially, in the history of academics, the philosophy, subjects related to philosophy, literature, all this enjoyed far superior status compared to the subjects such as engineering subjects, which were thought to be close to the craft tradition. But with the industrial revolution and rapid industrialization in Europe, all these things changed rapidly also. It also led to rethinking of academic subjects and their relative position. But Immanuel Wallerstein, he is of the opinion that this entire idea of ranking, rating different disciplinary knowledge is only 200 years old, and this is nothing but a social construction, is nothing but created by market demand. The attempt to separate philosophy and science is a very new idea, and in fact Ravinder Kaur cautions that such attempt, or she quotes Immanuel Wallerstein and says that such attempt to distinguish philosophy and science as two distinct streams of thought, with science having an upper hand than the philosophy, is fraught with risk, fraught with academic risk. It can lead to disastrous consequences in terms of advancement of scientific knowledge. Hence, the social sciences and humanities of late, though it enjoyed a much superior status earlier, of late have witnessed a decline in its status. Now, there is a kind of a hierarchy that operates within technology institutes, which sidelines the humanities and social sciences. The reasons are not far to seek, because the faculty size of humanities and social science department compared to other natural science or engineering sciences department is small. They have a small size. So, but irrespective of the small size, the students have to be taught, because there are fixed number of courses, fixed number of credits that the students have to take in IITs or NITs, and those courses have to be taught by the humanities and social sciences irrespective of their faculty strength. So there is always a problem there. Second, the humanities and social sciences do not have any direct concern with many affairs of the institute. For instance, they are not concerned with a GATE examination or joint entrance examination. They are not concerned with the R&D activities of the institute as a whole, which mostly comes from the natural sciences and engineering sciences. And essentially the students are there in IITs and NITs to take a degree, obtain a degree in engineering or sciences rather than a degree in social sciences. Hence, that automatically sidelines or marginalizes the position of humanities and social sciences. And of course, to add to it the inappropriate time slotting, the humanities and social sciences courses either would be 8 o'clock in the morning or in the 5 o'clock in the evening. Such inappropriate slotting automatically creates a feeling of marginality amongst the faculty of humanities and social sciences. They feel that they are getting a time slot which is not suitable for the students, because students in winter, they find it difficult to get up in the morning and attend a class at 8. By 5 o'clock they are sufficiently tired, mentally tired, to appreciate the courses in humanities and social sciences. So such inappropriate slotting also, it helps not only in creating that feeling of marginalization amongst the faculty members, but also students, engineering students also imbibe that. They understand that these courses are not important courses. These courses are soft courses, easy courses. In these courses, it is easy to score marks. It is easy to obtain a better grade without putting in that much of effort. It is these courses where we can always get away with shortage of attendance. Also, the certain faculty members in humanities and social sciences who incorporate that feeling of marginality, they also are responsible in creating such feeling among the faculty students that the courses are soft, it is easy to get grades, because the faculty members themselves do not bother about taking attendance, do not detain students on the based on shortage of attendance. They give good they give good grades to students even if the effort is less. So those kind of problems humanities and social sciences do face, but at the same time there are also courses which are from social sciences which are very popular amongst the engineering students. The students enjoy taking these courses because these courses are mostly interactive in nature. These courses are based on discussions and debate and arguments that the teacher allows the students to argue, to debate, to understand and appreciate different aspects, different dimensions of social, economic, or political, or religious issues. Hence, such courses become very popular with the students. The students who decide to take up further studies in social sciences and humanities after their completion of engineering degree. Now, such kind of dual approach is nothing new, because in a way the dual approach of students and faculty members also is a reflection of two different ways in which education system has been organized in India. Here we come to the next part of the article, that is the difference between the structural difference between the universities as well as IITs. Is there a structural difference? Is there a difference in their work culture? Is there any difference in the way they look at the world? Is there an internal difference? Yes, Ravinder Kaur says there is the two models. One, the university model, the other, the IIT model. They represent two different cultures altogether. While the university framework, it promotes democracy, dissent, openness, discussion, debate. Technology institutes are more regimented, rigid, apolitical, hierarchical, and authoritarian. The fear of getting bad grades essentially stops the students from raising their voice. They do not protest. They do not protest about things that are happening outside the campus. Whereas in universities, sometimes can be the breeding ground for future politicians. So the students do react, do respond to issues happening around them, religious issues, political issues, dam building, riots, political decision making. So and there is much more openness. There is a scope for debate, argument in university structure, whereas in the IIT structure, it is much more regimented, insulated, apolitical, doesn't take stand regarding any issue. It tries to maintain ethical neutrality. It is hierarchical. There is a strong hierarchy that exists in IITs. Now, maybe that is primarily because the fact that technology institutes are considered as the places of highly specialized learning. So, when you come to a technology institute, you come to take a specialized degree. So, it's a institute where you earn or learn, undergo special training. Whereas universities are known as the locus of production of knowledge in all disciplines, which allows for exploration and critical questioning. Institutes has to remodel itself. Now, C suggests that this technology institutes should remodel itself as a university where space is created for freedom to read, freedom to think, freedom to teach in respective disciplines. So that freedom to express oneself through their reading, because in university a professor can always express an opinion regarding political happenings, economic decisions taken in the country. But in the university, in the IITs or the technology institutes, a professor tries to maintain ethical neutrality. That freedom is missing according to Ravinder Kaur in the IITs, and the IITs must provide that freedom to the professors, to the faculty members, to the students to read, to think, to research in respective disciplines. But at the same time, the universities also has to learn something from the IITs in terms of accountability of the faculty members to the institute, to the university, their own responsibility as important instruments of education delivery. At the same time, the students also need to be more serious about their career prospects, career goals, which sometimes is missing in the university structure. The students sometimes join a university for the sake of joining rather than pursuing the subjects as a career goal. So both universities as well as IITs, they need to learn something from each other. Now, in that regard, while appreciating the role of engineers in society and making science useful to the society, C.P. Snow, he asks whether engineers were merely ignorant specialists. That is, are the engineers ignorant of the world in which they live and work? Now, at the same time, such mutual ignorance of the scientist and engineers and social science person, it can be disastrous. The science and humanity, they need to inform each other about their concerns. There has to be some interdisciplinary research. There has to be interdisciplinary courses developed, such as a course on intellectual property rights, which will have people from economics, from sociology, from environmental sciences, from civil engineering, from hydrology. There can be a course on environmental studies, which will have teachers from civil engineering, from economics, from sociology, from philosophy, to contributing to the from biotechnology, contributing to the course module. Such kind of symbiotic relationship between engineering, natural sciences and social sciences is going to take the academics forward, and particularly it is going to enhance the appeal of the IITs or technology institutes manifold. There can be joint courses which would serve to sensitize the students to social, technical and environmental dimensions, while the faculty members from humanities and social sciences need to highlight the societal context and the framework for technology. The engineers need to understand that science is a human enterprise. They must be sensitized to the history of development of science. They need to be sensitized, they need to be trained in the philosophy of science, that they need to be told very clearly that science is not ideology free, since it involves different human beings. Hence, one cannot remain ethically neutral but to engage with society, engage with other human beings. So it is essentially very, very necessary for the dialogue between the sciences and the engineering sciences and the social sciences to keep going, and that would lead to further development of not only engineering sciences but also the social sciences and also academics in general. It is also going to make students a complete human being, where they would be able to appreciate the very world in which they live and they work. Thank you.